Hello. So as you guys previously may know, I illustrated this image for a diary entry and I redrew that image, but I just want to revamp it just because I had some new ideas in terms of layout and format. I brainstormed here. So the diary entry was basically about this girl having worked from home that day, and she had a lovely dinner with her boyfriend or fiance partner, and she just writes about how she can't wait to get married to this person. So these are just the key things that I wrote down here. I wanted to draw a wine cup, a wine bottle, maybe some wedding rings, and since this is a journal entry, I maybe wanted to put a book in there, some magical objects, and she's talking about her partner, so maybe a silhouette in there, a couple silhouette, and then flowers, vase to make it pretty. And she mentioned home, working from home, and then the dinner that they had. So these were just a few of the sketches that I came up with. This is me just brainstorming. So this is a page in her diary where there's a wine glass with flowers in the background, magical things at the top, and then rings at the bottom. The next one was a ring with flowers on the inside, and then her holding up the wine glass, the little diamond on the side. This is one of my favorites, and I think this is what I'm gonna go with. I will modify this a bit. So I thought, okay, outline of a house, and then these cutout windows kind of things are our way to see into the house. And so what's happening is there's wine being poured into the glass, and then these are these are the wedding rings here at the bottom, and here it's the little heart being drawn. But I think I will replace that, and I will show you guys with what I'm thinking about, but I'll first go on and show you the rest of the brainstorming here. Here's another image, a super rough sketch of a menu, and a big wine glass that's almost out of the frame, and then a bunch of little cute birds with hearts on the top. The next one is two wine glasses coming out of a love letter, because it almost seemed as if it was a love letter that she was writing to her partner, so that was nice. And then this is the last thumbnail that I did. It's a wine glass with a silhouette in the inside of the wine glass, flowers in the background here, and then a house image here with rings inside. So out of all of these four ideas, six rough sketches that I came up with, I really like this one, but I am thinking that this part right here is not as strong, and so I'm thinking I could replace the silhouette area here and put it here. So that is what I'm going to do now, is just finesse this drawing a little bit and add those little things that I mentioned above. Also, one of my friends gave me feedback about the way that I drew the thumbnails reminds her of like folklore art, and she gave me these two images as a reference, which I love the shapes, and I think that's what I'm gonna try to adhere to in terms of the shapes and it doesn't really have as much texture. The texture is very subtle here in these areas, and it's like almost like a gradient, but not really. It's like a dotted sort of thing, dotted gradient, pixelated gradient maybe. So I'm gonna put that there for reference, and go ahead, and I'm not sure if this is a color palette that I chose for now, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with that, because the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I don't know if that will fit what I'm thinking. So for now, we're just gonna do a pretty rough sketch. So I'll make this dimmer. What I do want is to duplicate this and have this sort of like a guide here. Okay, so I'm just making this bigger. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a very light sketch of what I'm thinking. And there's still a few kinks here that I need to work out in terms of the layout, in terms of the drawing. But it's this what I'm doing right now is still rough. It's not going to be the final. So I may speed this part up a bit so that I can concentrate a little bit on what I'm thinking. I'm a huge fan of curved windows. So I just added this window here like this because I thought, oh, you know, like in my future house, that's what I want. So that's what I think about. Okay, so the shape of the house, I just want to take a look here if it's working for me. And yeah, I think it's okay. I could finesse this part a bit here so that it's not too terribly close to this part. So these are just grapes draping over to the bottom section here. I thought it'd be cool to have just a bit of plants kind of hovering over, or you know, going through the window and out and meeting the other window. Okay, and for this section, I do want to reference that silhouette that I mentioned earlier, and it was this silhouette right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. It's just okay. So here I have created a more refined draft of this, but I am going to go in there and clean up the line work. So that's what I'll do next. Hey guys, so I brought in this image into Illustrator on my laptop, and what I've done here is vectorized all of the images, and I will show you guys here. I have changed the color palette completely, just because I just didn't like that original color, so I've gone ahead and added all the shapes in here and separated them by colors. You'll see here in a bit how it all comes together. And I do want to point out that I have a filter on my screen for my eyes because they're just sensitive, but so that's why the colors look a bit off on here. But I will bring this over to Procreate and texturize this. All right, see you guys there. Okay, so I have brought in my images from Illustrator onto Procreate. Basically what I did in Illustrator was I exported out each layer, and I had separated each layer by color. So here we have the background, the house, the shapes inside of the house. I just wanted to make it cleaner in terms of like the line, but I will go in to add some texture. I know I started over a bunch with this, but I really want to get this to where I feel like it should get to, and I'm not done yet. So I will do that now. Is just add in texture. I think that is it. I think that's all the colors that I use. I am going to put this color right next to this one so I can see exactly how much of a difference they are, just because they are very similar in color. So here I'm just going in and adding some texture, trying to pick out the right texture here from the brushes. This is always kind of fun because if you combine different textures or, you know, tweak the texture brush, you can come up with a completely new texture. So that's pretty cool about Procreate. You can go in and really experiment a lot with this. You'll see me go in there for this particular project just because I got a little bit sidetracked and I was like, ooh, I can do that. But anyways, I am here. I decided on the dot texture brush. I really think that works for this just because it's pretty subtle, it's not distracting, and I haven't used this brush before as texture, so I was pretty excited to see the results for this. And yeah, just trying to learn how to just experiment with new things. Sometimes it's cool to experiment with other sort of art styles because it's almost like a challenge, right? Trying to mimic your style with their style. So here I'm going in and adding texture as I've said multiple times, sorry. But yeah, I'm going in and adding a variety of different sort of colors in there, adding in shadows and light and making sure that the areas that I do want accentuated with that texture make sense. So I'm going in and zooming in and out, just trying to make sure that it still works, and it is coming, to where I want it to look like. So the zooming in and out is just for me to check on myself. So I think right here I was trying to figure out how to make it glow. So I have those white outlines right there, as you can see, and I wanted the outer line, the line that is enclosing the house, to be somewhat glowing. So that's why I went in there and did a Gaussian blur for it. So here I am just tidying up a bit of the things that I felt were just tiny little imperfections. And I really wanted to add a bit of texture beyond what I had already done with the dot texture. So here I'm just adding in circles and ovals and wavy lines to kind of give it that sort of fun uniqueness. So I put it on the grapes, I put it on the wine being poured and the wine that's on the glass, and I wanted to add it to a few more places here and there, so I added it to the male silhouette just to tie it all together. And yeah, I'm really happy with this piece. I'm kind of surprised that the textures worked so great together. I did go in there and do a lot of trying to figure out which sort of effect, or I don't know what this one is called, but it's the overlays or the multiplies or the dissolves, and so I was trying to pick something that would work, or trying to see how it would look in different styles, I guess. So yeah, this is just me experimenting here. Anyways, this is the end of this video. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye!